Hello everybody, it's Brian for GadgetUnit.com, and it's time to take a look at the HTC One M9. If you're interested in picking this up, you can get it for anywhere between $17.72 per month and $35.45, or you could just get it for $199.99 with a 2-year contract, or if you want to buy it outright, you can get it from AT&T for $708.99, at least at the time of doing this video. I would also like to thank AT&T for sending this out to me for review. For the full specs, you can go to the written review that's linked down below in the video's description. So let's start out with the hardware and design. The One M9 uses an aluminum unibody enclosure, so it feels extremely solid all around. In terms of design, it doesn't look too far off of last year's HTC One M8. Though we do have a new color option, which is called the gold on silver model, where the back and the front is silver, while the side is actually gold, and this is the model that I have to take a look at. I really do like this two-tone design. It makes it look really beautiful all around. In terms of button placement, we do have our volume buttons separated along the right side with our power button below that. The actual size of the buttons are all similar, so they are hard to find even though that the power button is textured. Above the volume buttons is the micro SD card slot, while on the opposite side is our nano SIM tray. At the bottom is our 3.5mm headset jack and our micro USB 2.0 port. The top has our IR blaster, while on the back, of course, is our 20 megapixel rear-facing camera, dual-tone flash, as well as some HTC and AT&T branding. Thanks to the slightly curved back, this phone is very comfortable to hold, and it does have a fair amount of grip to it, all on its own. Also, on the front is our 5-inch 1080 by 1920 display, dual front-facing boom sound speakers, as well as our 4 megapixel front-facing camera. The display is quite good. It has excellent viewing angles, balanced color saturation, and it even works relatively well in direct sunlight. The backlight can get very bright or it can get very low. One minor annoyance is that I found that the display, when showing white text with rather low display brightness, actually looks more yellowish than it does white. Otherwise, the responsive screen looks great in all situations. The M9 runs the latest version of Android, 5.0.2 Lollipop, with HTC Sense overlay. I really like Sense. It makes everything very clean and snappy. All of the animations are very smooth, and things are made even simpler than stock Android. HTC also includes a new Themes app, which lets you quickly change wallpapers, sounds, and more. Unfortunately, AT&T preloads dozens of applications, most of which you'll find yourself uninstalling or disabling from within Android. Performance has been absolutely stellar with the M9, certainly making it the fastest Android device I've used to date. Apps open fast, animations are smooth and stutter-free, which is hard to come by these days, even with other high-end devices. Games play well, and so on. One thing is that when you're doing intensive things, the device can get warmer than average, but it never got warm enough to where I would have to worry about how I use the device. Battery life is definitely the weakest part of the M9. It's really inconsistent. Standby time and usage times are just kind of all over the place. Sometimes it's really good when you're doing heavy things, and sometimes standby time can just drain itself throughout the day. But under most circumstances, I found myself going through the entire day before having to rush home to plug it in. There are a couple of power saving modes that you can try to save battery life, and I do think that with some of those, you should be able to get through 2 or even 3 days of light to moderate usage. Call quality and data performance does vary greatly by area, time of day, and a dozen other factors. I found call quality to be just fine on AT&T, though it's not quite as good as HD Voice, which my area does not support on their network. 4G LTE data speeds have been less than stellar for the most part. Some areas are very fast, while most of the time I was getting pretty average speeds. Under any case, browsing the web and doing basic tasks has never been slow. Camera quality also isn't quite as good as it could have been. Outdoor shots look decent, even more so once HDR is enabled. The camera can take photos quickly, and low light performance isn't too bad either, though low light videos are a bit disappointing. The lack of optical image stabilization for videos makes things very shaky, especially at 4K. Full HD videos are also quite not as crisp as they are on other devices. Audio quality is fine, however. The camera app is easy to use and can get very detailed if you'd like to go that route. Though, like the M7 and the M8, the camera app resets its settings after you reopen it, which is very frustrating. So with great looks and performance, the HTC One M9 is undoubtedly a solid phone. Even with its questionable battery life and iffy camera, I really enjoyed using the M9, mainly thanks to the simple improvements that HTC has made to stock Android. Software updates should be able to improve things further, though it's unknown as to how often we'll see those, and regardless, those who get the M9 should be happy with what it provides. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback about this or anything else, feel free to leave everything down below in the comments area, But that's it with the video, so thanks a lot for watching and I'll talk to you all very soon.